There is, last few weeks we were learning about Chinuch. Different things that have to do with children. Lahazir Gedolim Malakatanim. So I thought it appropriate that we finish off the Inyan with the interesting Sikha of the Rebbe on the Inyan of why there's no mitzvahs Chinuch min haTorah. The mitzvahs Chinuch is a mitzvah meDerabonon, which is a big pella, because if we're not mechanech a child, how are they going to know how to do the mitzvahs when they're bar mitzvah? Suddenly one day they're going to know how to do everything? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to understand why we find that the mitzvah of Chinuch is a mitzvah meDerabonon. So this Sikha is trying to understand why there isn't a mitzvah min haTorah. B'chiyuv de Chinuch ketanim isa bekama mekoymos de Chinuch meDerabonon. We find in many places that Chinuch is only meDerabonon. Although min haTorah lack of chiyuv Chinuch. Min haTorah there is no chiyuv Chinuch, since there's no chiyuv Chinuch, no obligation. This requires explanation. Kimish min haTorah b'regesh hakatan nasa gadol. Chayiv miyad b'kiyum kol mitzvah Torah. The minute he becomes a gadol, he's obligated to do all the mitzvahs in the Torah. Imkain, if so, b'imein chiyuv min haTorah l'hachinav, there's no chiyuv min haTorah obligation to prepare him. L'zman gadlusay, yav mitzvah Torah machzis chon yidi v'chayis archon. Then right into come mitzvah, he's not going to be able to do everything. He doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know what to do. Imagine a child but not educated at all. As soon as he's 13, he has to do all the mitzvahs. He's obviously not able to do it. So he's going to be a lot of mitzvahs he's going to miss. Mm-hmm. He's not going to do it properly. He's going to miss them out. So it comes out, there's no way he can do all the mitzvahs when he's bar mitzvah if he wasn't trained. So how could it be there's no obligation to get him ready before? So with Pashtus, if you want to go with a simple path, we could say Yesh loymar shenichal mitzvah klolos talmud Torah. This is included in the mitzvah of learning Torah. Mm-hmm. There is a mitzvah, not only a person should learn Torah, but should teach his children. Mitzvah semen haTorah ala av ulamed is benoyah hakatan Torah. It's a mitzvah to teach your son Torah. It's quoting for the Rambam. Shenever lemadatem oisens b'neichem l'daberbam. Saying Shema, should teach your children l'daberbam. But Kamei Shapira Ramban, the Ramban explains in the pasuk Vishinanta Munecha, Me'acha shetziva mitzvah is chukas el de'usechem. How are our children going to know about the mitzvahs if we don't teach them the mitzvahs? Based on this, there is an obligation of chinuch, the Torah achana l'kiyum mitzvah galusei. I mean, we could say, really, this is the whole idea behind why we're instructed to learn with children Torah, in order to get them ready, get them prepared. So based on this, we have a simple answer. Mm-hmm. Yes, there is a chiyuv min haTorah to prepare his son for bar mitzvah by learning with him Torah. He knows about the mitzvahs. However, the issue over here is, there is one thing learning, and there's one thing fulfilling the kiyum ha-mitzvahs. When you learn with a child all the mitzvahs of the Torah, you can learn from today till tomorrow, but doing it is something different. So if up until bar mitzvah he doesn't do any mitzvah at all, he only learns about it, it's also very difficult to understand, expect him when the day of his bar mitzvah he's going to know how to do these things. He needs to be trained in.
Till bar mitzvah is not chayav.
It's not chayav. Elo shemin haTorah ha-mitzvah he sheyedu b'nei ha-mitzvahs. The left column, the mitzvah is he should know the mitzvahs. V'asar Rabbanu Chacham came v'tiknu shegam ha-mitzvah l'chanach ha-zabonim ben b'kiyum ha-mitzvahs. Chachamim came and obligated us to educate them not only in learning the mitzvahs, knowing the mitzvahs, but actually fulfilling the mitzvahs. Kiyum. Meshkatz v'rishonim v'shidei l'hargos ha-kotan l'mitzvah hishmechonech v'ragol l'mitzvahs. He should be prepared for mitzvahs. He should become accustomed to doing this, so the sheyagd will continue. It says in the Mishlei, educate the youth on his path. Even when he's older, he won't go away from it. L'chor ain't a maspil. L'chor it's not enough. She'idiyas ha-mitzvah atzma, the top of 62, ain't a daya she'ikaimu v'poil k'sheyagdu. It's not enough the fact that he knows the mitzvahs, that he's going to actually be able to do it when he's older. It's a gemocha mizeh gufa, shechachamim chayvu l'chanecho in the third line, bekim ha-mitzvah b'poil she'isagavan. Why did Chachamim require us to give a chinuch? Why did the Chachamim want us to do chinuch? They realized if we're not mechanech the child, he's not going to be ready to do it when he's bar mitzvah. So comes the question back again, so why is there an obligation in haTorah? Why is this an obligation only that Chachamim put in place? Only meDerabonon. Harei comes out from here, Shemin haTorah, k'sheyigda kat v'yigil l'gil yugimel shem yimechad, Chaser, he is missing the proper preparation kedei sheyuchal l'kayim hapoil kol hamitzvot kedeboy k'sheyigdal. The misragal hakatim, the katim is accustomed, the snaig, the loy shmin mitzvahs, that until 13 he could be like a goy, he could do whatever he wants. And agami yidua b'dei b'sich mashafti, let's call mitzvah, even if he learns with his father, v'shinanta v'necha, l'mad t'meisens b'neichem, he learns Torah with his father, he actually should be in reg, it's impossible that over a second, yaschul l'kayim and kulam b'poil kedeboy, he's going to fulfill them all properly, hepich tivayim and hagei kaidim. His nature, what he's used to all along, till he's bar mitzvahs, he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, in his mind, he learns with his father. He learns about it. But he doesn't happen fulfilling it. Mm-hmm. So the Rebbe is not happy enough with going to say that there is a mitzvah chinuch min haTorah, and it's the mitzvah of l'madet ha-mitzvah b'neichem. Because it's not enough the limud. It has to also be a kiyum of the mitzvahs. Here, the Rebbe gives a very nice pshat. He says like this. L'chora, yesh l'aimer, we could say like this. He says one pshat here, later on he's going to say a different pshat. He's not going to like this pshat either. But the pshat he says over here is, maybe we could say there is a chiyuv of chinuch min haTorah. Why? You know, when it comes to putting on tefillin, in order for someone to put on tefillin, he has to get the kalaf, and the sofer, and he has to buy tefillin and prepare tefillin. A person is not only obligated, if I have tefillin here in front of me, I have to put on tefillin. No, I have an obligation to pursue the mitzvah and to go after it and make sure I can do it. So the obligation is not only the actual mitzvah. The obligation is you have an obligation to pursue and prepare to get the mitzvah ready. When it comes night of Pesach, a person can't say, yeah, I'm ready to eat matzah, but I don't have any matzah. He has to go and buy the matzah. Yeah. Is buying the matzah actually a mitzvah? It's not a mitzvah buying matzah. You're not going... You don't say l'shem yichud when you're going to buy the matzah in the matzah bakery.
But it's a preparation for the mitzvah.
But you have an obligation to prepare yourself. It's concluded in the mitzvahs to prepare. Otherwise you can't. I can't read from the Sefer Torah if I don't make a Sefer Torah. I can't put on tefillin, I don't prepare a tefillin. I can't do the mezuzah if I don't prepare the mezuzah. Exactly. There's no mikveh, you don't have a mikveh. Unless you're going to go to the ocean. So therefore the Rebbe says, it could be that there is an obligation for the katan. Since the katan is going to turn bar mitzvah, and when he turns, as soon as he turns 13, he's chayiv in all the tayyag mitzvahs. So yes, he has there's an obligation on that we have to prepare him to be ready. The son himself, the boy himself, we can't obligate because before he's 13, he's a katan. We can't obligate him. But the obligation will go over to the father to prepare him. Just like you have to prepare tefillin before you put it on, you have to prepare the boy to be able to be ready. When the day he's 13, you should be able to mekayim all the mitzvahs. So maybe there is a chiyuv chinuch. We could say there is an actual chiyuv of chinuch min haTorah. Not just to know the mitzvahs, to actually fulfill it. Well, we'll understand this through an introduction. haTorah mechayevas l'kayim is a mitzvah. The dugma noch is tefillin. Pashut, it's simple. The obligation is not only to someone who has in front of him a pair of tefillin he has to put on. The mitzvah obligates you to do whatever necessary that you should be able to do the mitzvah. Not only put it on, the mitzvah includes in its obligation the preparation. Well, there is a bekama mitzvah shemechui min haTorah lasis kol hadarish d'shiyuchol l'kayim mitzvah. B'lashon HaRambam yish mitzvah asay shalom chayiv l'shtad of l'idor shiyaso is min tefillin v'sukkah v'lulav v'shofer. There is a mitzvah say that a person has chayiv. Rambam explains l'hishtad of l'idor. He has to go and chase and pursue and make effort to do the mitzvah, even though the actual mitzvah is not to pursuing. Left column, the fourth line. The actual mitzvah is only the action of putting on tefillin and taking the lulav. This very obligation itself obligates him that you need also do all the preparations. Furthermore, if you did not prepare to figure out how to do the mitzvah, it's considered like you're mevatel mitzvah's essay. You're not only mevatel mitzvah's essay when I didn't put it on. It's because you didn't prepare yourself and get yourself ready. So therefore we could say from this, maybe we could say it like this, just like by every adult, by a gadol, the chiyuv of the mitzvah not only obligates him to do the mitzvah, but obligates him to get prepared for the mitzvah. We could say, a child is becoming a gadol, he immediately becomes obligated meDeraisa b'kiyum kol haTorah kula. It's impossible for the child to do anything, to a mitzvah, without any preparation before. Both the learning of the mitzvahs, the kaimim poil, as well the preparation to prepare him, he should be accustomed to do it, which is similar to like when it comes to the tefillin lulav. This chiyuv should be min haTorah. Since there is a chiyuv on the katan to prepare himself till he becomes a gadol, however, we have a problem here. On one hand, the katan is obligated to prepare himself. On the other hand, can we put obligations on a katan?
Yeah.
Katan is eine bar chiyuva, means he's not a person that we can put obligations on and responsibilities. There's a possibility we can say shechiyuv's oiv la'av. It goes over to the father. In the parentheses, the Rebbe brings an example. One of the Rishonim said of Pidyon Ben. The mitzvah Pidyon Ben is a child should redeem himself, but the child's too young to redeem himself, so the father does it for him. But really, it's his mitzvah. It's the son's mitzvah. Similar thing here. Really, the child has to prepare himself to be ready to put on tefillin. He needs to buy the tefillin. He needs to practice putting it on, and all of so on with all mitzvahs. In order for you to have a lulav on the first day of Sukkot, you gotta cut the lulav and prepare it and get your lulav together. So, but since he's not someone we can obligate, so the obligation goes to the father. Still, the Rebbe points out over here that it's not actually considered a mitzvah, the preparation. The preparation is something necessary, but that itself is not the mitzvah. It's not considered a mitzvah of chinuch. It's a preparation that you have to have in order for the katan to be able to keep his mitzvah. There's no mitzvah in the Torah to mechanech him. Meaning there's no separate mitzvah in the Torah which says you have a chiyuv to obligate your son. There's no such a pasuk in the Torah itself. The obligation is that when he's 13, he has to keep to all the Taryag mitzvahs. The only way he can do all the Taryag mitzvahs is if he becomes accustomed to it before. Ein choyvus beged mitzvah kim rak hechsher. It's a preparation v'achana b'vad. Al derech v'dugmas krisis eitzim lasis b'chavim lasis barzel. Example lamila. Example. When you cut wood to make coal, to make hot coals, to heat up metal, to make a metal knife create a knife for bris milah. Are we going to say that's part of the mitzvah? No, but on the other hand, can I do the mitzvah without making a milah without the knife? No. So it's something which is necessary, but it's only a hachana. It doesn't have a status of a mitzvah. So that is what the Chachamim came around, and they added that it's not only a hachana, but it's a mitzvah. Reality is, min haTorah, you also have to prepare. But that preparation had no status of being a mitzvah. What Chachamim came to do by saying there's a mitzvah meDerabonon was they came to say this actual mitzvah. Sheyesh b'zageder chiv a mitzvah. An interesting shaila. A child, you're doing chinuch of the child, right? Mm-hmm. Since it's only chinuch, do I actually really have to do the mitzvah the real way? Or, mechanechim, he's just only chinuch, it's not real. I give him a lulav and esuk, which is not really kosher. Right? Maybe give him a lemon, or I give him an esuk that the pitim fell off. Or whatever, something that it's possible, but so the cotton, I'm educating him and giving it to him, but it's possible. Is that okay? Is that not okay? So they wanted to be showing him, says the Ritva, you're not allowed to educate a child to eat in a sukkah which is higher than 20 amas, because it's possible. A sukkah is a possible sukkah. Meaning, chinuch has to be done with all the details. So the Rebbe learns like this. At this point in the Sikha, the Rebbe is learning that because we have this big kasha, that there has to be a mitzvah, chinuch min haTorah, because otherwise the child's not going to know how to do it, we have to say there is an actual mitzvah. Not a mitzvah, but there's an obligation to get prepared for that time. The father's obligation to prepare it. What were the Chachamim doing? We know Chachamim, the Gemara says clearly, there is a mitzvah meDerabonon, meDerabonon of Chinuch. So what did the Chachamim come to add? If you have to anyway, the Rebbe is asking, if you anyways have to prepare min haTorah your child, what were the Chachamim adding by creating this mitzvah? What was the extra thing? So the Rebbe explains like this. If it was only that min haTorah you have to prepare him, who said the preparation has to be exact? You can let him do with pasal lovanesik, a pasal sukkah, pasal tefillin. It doesn't have to be real, because there's no real mitzvah in it. It's just a preparation. However, Chachamim came and said, no, you have a mitzvah of chinuch. It's a mitzvah of chinuch, and that mitzvah of chinuch obligates you to do with the cotton the mitzvahs that actually the way they are done as a cotton. The same way. Yeah, clear?
Yeah. Also, when you give a katan a trog not kasher or love, you might think that this is the way they're doing it. It's also part of it. This way you have to give him a real one.
Let's say he doesn't realize.
My friend was talking about Chinuch 2 weeks ago, on the Thursday night hookup from Baltimore. So he said that Tzemach Tzedek said that a child, if he has a fight, he forgets about the fight and he moves on, he's happy again. An adult, when he has a fight, he has a grudge. That's what he said. So he's talking about Chinuch, about 2 weeks ago, was the tape about Chinuch.
So the children are better than the adults.
Right, that's what he's proving out. That the child wants to move on in life, and the adult just hangs on it.
The children, 1 minute they're beating each other up, the next minute they're best friends.
That's what he said. He said something else.
Yeah, I never heard that. Interesting. Okay, Rabbi say, I want to skip the next Sif Gimel. Let's go to Sif Dalet. Page 64, Sif Dalet. So meanwhile, let's chaz over our question and the two answers. The question is we know that the chiyuv of chinuch is only meDerabonon. This raises a question. What is this supposed to mean? That mitzad the Torah itself is no chiyuv to obligate to get a child accustomed to the mitzvahs. How is he going to suddenly, in the day of his bar mitzvah, suddenly stand up without doing one mitzvah till he's 13, does whatever he wants, and at 13 suddenly he's going to know how to keep all the mitzvahs. Since that day, that second he turns 13, he suddenly becomes obligate all the 613 mitzvahs. There's no way he can do it if he's not prepared. So how can we understand that's only a chinuch meDerabonon? So one pshat that Rebbe says is that this is included in the mitzvah of learning Torah. There is a chiyuv in a Torah for a father to teach his child Torah. And if he can't do it himself, he pays tuition. So the teachers teach him. So he said it could be that this is really where the chinuch, the idea of chinuch, the idea of behind the mitzvah is you should teach Torah to your son when he should know how to do the mitzvahs when he's bar mitzvah. So he said, okay, nice pshat. However, the issue is, if you're just going to teach him in theory, but he's not going to practice anything until the day of the mitzvah, again, it's going to still be very difficult for him to suddenly learn how to fulfill all the mitzvahs. He'll maybe know all about them, but how is he suddenly going to do everything if he was never taught how to do it, never how to put on tefillin, how to do this, how to do that? He needs to be hands-on, to be actually fulfilling it, being accustomed to it. How can we expect him suddenly to change his nature? Every morning he's used to doing this and this, and on the day of the bar mitzvah he's going to wake up and do things differently, be a different person. He's bound to make a lot of mistakes, and it's not going to be possible for him to do everything. So there's going to be a lot of trial and error over there. So again, it seems to be that there's an issue over here. Why don't we find a chiyuv chinuch min haTorah? So the Rebbe goes on to offer a different his own pshat, which he says maybe ein chanami. Just like an adult, when an adult does a mitzvah, the adult needs not only to do the mitzvah, the adult needs to prepare before doing the mitzvah, get it ready. He needs to put on tefillin. He needs to put on tefillin in the morning. So he needs to buy tefillin. He needs to bring his tefillin with him. He needs to do preparations. The preparations are necessary to do the mitzvah. In order to have matzah, you have to bake the matzah before. So if you don't bake it, you're not going to have a matzah. There's no obligation. The obligation is not only to eat the matzah. The chiyuv matzah includes that you're going to have to do everything possible to make sure that you're going to be able to do it when the time comes to do the mitzvah. So just like we say that by an adult, maybe we could say by a katan. Since the katan, when he comes to our mitzvah, there's no way he can do it, the mitzvahs, properly when he's 13, unless he does preparation before. So that's included, the preparation is included in the chiyuv. You have an obligation to prepare yourself before. However, here the Rebbe says, it still bothers him, because we don't find this anywhere. It does not say anywhere at all there's an obligation in haTorah to prepare a child before the bar mitzvah. It says only meDerabonon. So it's a nice pshat, but l'poya, we don't find that it says it anywhere. You can't create something which doesn't say anywhere. That's what he says in Sif Dalet. Page 64, Sif Dalet, the left column. Ulam l'chora chidish gadol.
Who says that it has to be a mitzvah at all? You could just say that it's just seichel pashut. That when you're a gadol, you have to do a mitzvah, and if you don't know how to do it, you can't do it. So it's just seichel pashut that you have to learn how to do it and practice.
When do you have to learn? Before.
Yeah.
So it is included.
Included what?
It's included within the obligations that you have to get prepared before.
It's just like seichel pashut, like we're talking about
Svara.
A mitzvah to believe in God. You can't have a mitzvah to believe in God if you don't believe in Him in the first place. But it's just seichel pashut that there is a God.
So you don't have to say clearly it's a mitzvah. It's obvious that there must be such a mitzvah, because otherwise how would you people know it? You're really saying what the Rebbe was saying until now. But now the Rebbe doesn't want to go this way. That's the mahalach. And he this is mamish what you're saying is what we're saying till now, in other words. But the Rebbe feels over here he wants to go on a different mahalach. He's going to answer a different pshat because he feels it doesn't say anywhere such a thing. Meaning none of the poskim, everyone says chinuch is only derabanan. There's absolutely no min haTorah aspect to chinuch. Which, if this is pashat and this is svara, there's gemaras that say lama li kras svarahi, and svara could be deraisa. Something which is so pashat, 2 + 2 is 4. It's min haTorah. You don't need to have a pasuk for it. But we should still see that there's mention about it. It's not only derabanan. It's a siri sishu chinuch. It's min haTorah. But we see it always being referred to derabanan. Why is it derabanan? It's min haTorah. You have to prepare. So in svara wise, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. The shaila is why do the poskim keep on referring to this as something meDerabonon? They should be saying this is something min haTorah. So anyway, seichel wise, you're right. It doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. It should be min haTorah obligated to get prepared. The question is, why don't we find why do the poskim are ignoring this? Siv Daled. Ulam lechore chidush gadol loy meshiyesh l'choy v'schidam mederaisa. V'lehuskes eva poskim. Al kulam naktu. They all write the choy v'schidam eina elam v'divrei seifrim. Before Shalosh HaMazakim Shechani, the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch writes Reishel Chastam Torah Shakatam Patam Mikol HaMitzvahs V'gam Aviv Einoi Chayiv L'chamchem Mitzvah Torah. He's not obligated to educate him on Torah. It means there is no obligation. So it's a nice pshatel, but in actuality, the poskim is saying there is no obligation. So we're back to square one. Why is it an obligation? Val Pizeh, Kimin Shemin HaTorah, Berege Shekatan Asagod V'chuy Miyah B'kim Kol Torah Kulam. Lenis Chanech V'Srag V'mitzvah L'finei Min HaNimna. It's impossible Sheichul Zori K'divay Chol Mitzvah Esem L'Yitzvah Miyah Sheigdal. It's impossible for him to be prepared properly as soon as he becomes a gadol. Kein Eich Efshel Loimer. How can we possibly say Dein Chimin HaTorah L'Achin L'Achshidas Man Gadlusay? V'al Yav Mitzvah HaTorah Mach Zechsori Yidi V'chsar Melchona. V'oy al pima shen zbarlo mitzad chiyuv mitzvah chinuch chiyuv ha-mitzvahs shichul l'tekim sheigdal yikach choyv ha-chiyuv ha-choyv ha-sachona b'shverege shizgalu yichul l'kamen ha-choyv z'kiyam sey medas ha-she'ef she-tochol al-kotten she-medas lo m'bira ha-toyra chiyuv al-ave bezim k'niskal. And again, we don't understand. If there is a need for preparation for a mitzvah, there should be a chiyuv. Either cotton is no chiyuv, we should put on the father. But for some reason, we see everyone saying it's only meDerabonon, there's no min haTorah here. Here, the Rebbe goes into his final pshat. The pshat of the Rebbe is like this. The Rebbe says like this: Eina chanami. If a cotton, there is no chiyuv chinuch min haTorah, and therefore, when a cotton becomes bar mitzvah, if he cannot do a certain mitzvah because he's not accustomed, he didn't get ready for it, he's not ready, he is not oiver min haTorah. Min haTorah is not going to be over because he needs to. He has to try his best to do what he could. But if he wasn't prepared before, meaning that until now we're coming with the outlook that as soon as a boy is bar mitzvah, he's a chiyuv to all the tayag mitzvahs, and if he doesn't, he's oiv and aveira. It says no. He has a chiyuv right now to try to do his best to do the mitzvahs. If he can't. He can't. He's right now learning. He just became bar mitzvah. And he's not going to be missing out anything by not doing it. Because he couldn't. He wasn't prepared before. And he doesn't have it. There's no chiyuv to prepare him before. So if he tried to do his best, it's like a ger. A ger became a ger. So what happens if he didn't know how to do a mitzvah? And now he's a ger and he didn't know that he was supposed to daven, he was supposed to do this. He didn't know. We know today we train the Gerim in, and we have them. We want to see if they're real Gerim, and we have them come for a year or two, and they're learning the mitzvahs and they're getting ready. But a haTorah, you don't have to do that. A haTorah, you tell them the basic mitzvahs of the Torah, a few of the major mitzvahs, and we talked about Amun and Hashem and a few things, we see he's really interested, we see he's sincere, we let him become a ger. He's missing so much information, so now he's going to be going through days and missing out that many mitzvahs that he doesn't know about. Not a problem. That's what it is. He's not obligated in that. He didn't know. Not only Chinuch Shenish, but he didn't know. He's not obligated. He's learning. He's doing it. He's an einus. He's a nanas. It's not his fault. And he's not missing any. Not only is it not his fault, he's not missing anything. He's not missing anything.
It's like Chinuch Shenishba?
I think it's even more. Chinuch Shenishba, really, there is obligation to mitzvahs, just he didn't know about it. But over here, there's no, we can't obligate him until he knows about it. It could be similar to Chinuch Shenishba.
So why the Torah said when he's 13, you obligate all the mitzvot? Torah has to say when he's 13, he has to start learning and slowly be obligated.
He's obligating all the mitzvahs, but only the ones that he can naturally do. He has to naturally do whatever he could. The Torah was not given. It's a famous saying, "Le'nitna." The Gemara said, "Le'nitna Torah l'ma'achei hashar." The Torah wasn't given to malachim, so we can't obligate him more than he could. He has to do whatever's best he could. That's min haTorah. meDerabonon, you have a chiyuv chinuch before, right? But we're talking the discussion is all why the Torah itself doesn't obligate him in chinuch.
You can only do what he's aware of.
The Rebbe gives an interesting example. We'll see inside. When we have to get rid of the chametz by the ending of the 6th hour on Erev Pesach. Now, the Rebbe says if someone did whatever he could, he's getting rid of his chametz, but he still has chametz to get rid of, and he's involved in getting rid of it. The entire time that he's involved in getting rid of it and constantly trying to get rid of it, he's not over. He doesn't try and transgress any Aveda. Because he's not waiting around. He's trying to get rid of it. It takes time. He's doing what he could do. He's doing the best he could do. So the entire time that he's involved with burning the chametz and getting prepared to burn it,
even after the 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's not a...
Min haTorah, right? The Rebbe wants to say that it's not even pshat like a oinus. A oinus means we say someone he's obligated to do the mitzvah. He has a oinus, he has something which is blocking him. The Rebbe learns differently over here. It's not pshat, it's a oinus. Pshat is, this is part of the obligation. Part of the obligation is not only getting rid of it, part of it is preparing to get rid of the chametz and doing the preparation. Meaning, we know meDerabonon we have to start getting rid of it before. But min haTorah, the obligation actually only starts at the ending of the 6th hour. Tashbisus Ermavatech. So min haTorah, you can get up at the end of the 6th hour and start to go get rid of your chametz. As long as you're running around and looking busy with getting rid of your chametz, you can't be over. It's not pshat, you're not being over because I'm a oinus, because I couldn't have done it. No, you weren't even obligated to get rid of it until now. Part of the obligation is to go searching for it and get rid of it. That's part of the mitzvah. So part of it, becoming bar mitzvah, is learning about the mitzvahs and preparing for the mitzvahs. So you have to do the best you could. If you couldn't, it's not pshat, I was over, but I'm not accountable. No, you weren't over in mitzvah at all. V'nira sifhei, page 65, right column sifhei. V'nira, it seems, the mashins bar list that we explained earlier, the key of shemiyachik da katan is chayav chol mitzvahs kulin. Since a katan, when he becomes a godless advocate in all the mitzvahs, l'chein therefore, im loy kim, if he did not fill the mitzvahs, or when he transgresses them, machmas chisoni yediyah, v'achona kedemis, without, because he didn't have previous knowledge, in preparation, neshik and mitzvah is considered like he's nullifying mitzvah essay, ka'oivin transgressing the loisa, ein mochrach, this svara is not mochrach. We don't have to think this way. We're going to change our outlook. He's not out, the katan's not over on a mitzvah essay, loisa, if he didn't prepare before. Well, the hektim, first in introduction, haTorah mechayev is based on mitzvah. Torah obligates to do a certain mitzvah. Hashut shechiv chal rak ba'ofen shetuchel eskayim b'derech hateva. The chiyuv is only, obligation can only be fulfilled in a natural way. From the midna haTorah l'malachi asheres Torah, it wasn't given malachim. V'im kiyuma adarish siyazman, the obligation takes time to prepare. In the entire time that it takes in order to do the mitzvah, you're not obligated. We'll take one example. Mitzvah's bir chametz, or getting rid of the chametz. How he calls man she'oisik b'piyurei out in his bar b'poil. In the entire time that you're oisik involved in getting rid of it, till you get rid of it, you're not over on the mitzvah of tashbisu. The zehu get the mitzvah. That's part of the mitzvah. La says ma shebicholti levar chametz. Do whatever you could to get rid of the chametz. If that's what you're doing, you're doing a mitzvah. B'lashem azak and lashon al terev and shulchan aruch mitchila shah zayin from the beginning of the 7th hour. Kol rega v'rega shenimtza chametz v'shusay v'yin misasik levarei. And you're not involved in getting rid of it to oyer mitzvah shel Torah. Mashenkin shemisasik b'yurei harei isaskus v'chelik mikim ha-mitzvah. However, when he's involved in trying to mevar the chametz, the involvement is actually a part of fulfilling the mitzvah. Hainus askus b'achona sabir, loyra ke'esek bet sabir, not the actual burning, even the preparation to get prepared the chametz to burn it. Ve'eza shaykh den oynes achmana patre. It's not pshat. It's because you're an oynes, so you couldn't. Hashem patres you. Achmana patre, He exempts you. Noimar, because that would be saying shemi oyse rega shetzias the chametz. If second you found the chametz, you're harei oiver mitzashbasa. You're really transgressing the mitzvah. Shekolzman and Nishki Levayna Shekaon is a one party. Since it takes time, you're oinus and Hashem exempts you. It patters you means, when we say oinus rachmana patre means, really you're chayiv. You're really oivers. But you have a way out because you're an oinus. That's not pshat here. Pshat is when the Torah told you that you have to get rid of chametz, burn the chametz, included in the mitzvah is searching for it and finding it. That's preparation, is part of the mitzvah. It's not pshat, I'm doing something really be'etzem and aveira, just I'm not chayiv because I'm an honest. No. I'm not up, that's part of the mitzvah. The mitzvah is to search for it. I'm doing the mitzvah right now. I'm doing a mitzvah. There's a shaykh, when can we say the concept that that you're over on it? Rakin karchala chiv, the chiv is already obligated. Venenas, and he has an oinus, he davar study shimakiv kiyumi. Something on the side is stopping him from fulfilling the mitzvah. Avumi etzem teva advarim, from the very nature of things. He efshel l'kayim achiv, there's no way you can fill the obligation. He believes shehiyas zman, without waiting time. Oy hachona achshara mukdemes hazehu chelik mehachiv. It's an actual part of the chiyuv. If that's the nature of the mitzvah, that it takes time, so that's the nature of the mitzvah. So as long as it takes, it's not an issue. Min haTorah, meDerabonon, we have to get rid of it before this man. Min haTorah, I could stand up in the chatzois of Erev Pesach, tashbisu, get rid of all the chametz. I don't have to make sure when it comes the 7th hour the chametz is already gone. At chatzois of Erev Pesach, I have a chiyuv to start preparing to get rid of it. As long as I'm involved in running around and preparing it, and not ever take me an hour or 2 hours, that's the mitzvah. I'm not a malach, I can't do it in a second. So if it takes time, if the nature of the mitzvah itself obligates you to take time to do it, then that time you're taking is nothing wrong with it. That's part of the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah which takes time. If your house needs an hour or 2 hours, so your mitzvah was 2 hours, an hour or two. It's an example. Further examples. Hine, mitzvah shekima zvanim yichadim. You have mitzvahs which require
special time.
Im kiyam mitzvah doyer shachana achshara. If the mitzvah, fulfilling the mitzvah requires preparation, going to kiyah shofar. You need to prepare blowing in order to blow. You need to train yourself how to blow. Here the Rebbe is not saying another example, actually. He's saying the opposite. If the mitzvah is totally in time, like shofar. I need to be prepared in order to blow it before the mitzvah, or I need time to get the dal minim. That preparation starts before the time of fulfilling the mitzvah. When the time will come, you can do it properly.
This is for someone who was their own shofar.
Yeah. Or he has to get his dal minim, he has to go buy it.
Right.
Meaning like this. If I know, in order for me shofar, I have a certain amount of time to blow the shofar. Shofar can only be blown on Rosh Hashanah.
And
During the day. So I need to make sure that I'm trained to blow it before. Otherwise the day can go by, I won't blow shofar. Or to get the dal minim, I need to blow. Then for sure, I can't come on Rosh Hashanah and say, you know what, I'm going to now start preparing to blow on Rosh Hashanah. And if it comes the time to blow, it comes a whole day, I tried, I can't blow, so I'm pater. Meaning, like the same idea of what I was saying until now by Tashbisa. So no. It's very different. By Chametz, the mitzvah is get rid of the Chametz. So I have to do as much as I could to get rid of it. When it comes to blowing the shofar, dal minim is different. Since it's dependent on a time, that by this time I can no longer do it anymore, so I have a chiyuv to make sure that I'm able to fulfill the mitzvah within that time.
burning the chametz also is a time.
Not an end time. You have a start time. You don't have an end time.
You're not going to wait till second day Pesach to get rid of the chametz.
But what happens, theoretically speaking, if you had a lot of chametz in his house, starting from Chatzois or Pesach, you start getting rid of it. It takes him as long as it does.
It's called chamir also.
But let's say he's not doing bittul. haTorah, he's not doing bittul. It's a theoretical discussion. We're not a theoretical example.
Everything needs my grandma, it seems, also.
There's no ending time to Tashbisu. If we would say that Tashbisu, the chametz has to be gotten rid of by the ending of that day, let's say. If it would say something like that in the Torah, then Ein Echanami. You would have to prepare the nights before the weeks before to get rid of the chametz. But Yois doesn't say that, so that the word is at the Torah, then you have to start the process of burning and get rid of it. How long it takes for me to burn it and find it. Mashenkin, Dalaminim, Rosh Hashanah, the Torah telling you, this day you have to do it. The second day is meDerabonon, right? The first day meDerabonon, you have your 12 hours during the day, so you have to do make sure that in that time you're going to be able to do it. If not, you're going to lose the mitzvah entirely. Lahoyer she'achiv da'achiv kain kol haTorah kula chiv tmidi. Gam mitzvah she'etzem kiyuma tzaliz ha'nesoim kum achiv she'skayim b'zman l'tmidi. Mishen s'atz l'hatzal melkei l'chag l'chein lahoyer yochel l'kain tzitilas b'zman nechshech v'ata mitzvah. He's considered like the vatal of mitzvah essay. Page 66, the left column. Alman, however, b'katan she'nis gadol. By katan, when he becomes bar mitzvah, it's different. He's a katan potem mikol haTorah kula l'shaych by shum serach shechim haTorah. He's no shaychis when he's a katan to anything with haTorah. Kol hametzius shel chiyuv eini elam mishinas gadol. L'chein mitzad teva advarim nochut zman shel min achon shiyuch v'kayim kol mitzad zman achon zu min haTorah maschum miyak achishinas gadol. V'shuv yaf shaloim v'shoy v'shum mitzvah shechol zman shechon adrusha. Kayim kiyim mitzvah. Basically, the Rebbe says when he's a katan, there's nothing min haTorah. He has no chiyuv min haTorah. So since when he comes bar mitzvah, naturally speaking, it's going to take him time to become accustomed. There's going to be mistakes. He's going to do things wrong. He's going to forget things. That's the part of the natural process. As long as he's doing his best, he's not over in any thing min haTorah.
But today, Katan till bar mitzvah, he's learning in yeshiva since first grade.
meDerabonon. meDerabonon.
But he knows a lot.
Sure, he knows a lot.
So I don't know.
meDerabonon. Here we are talking a pilpul.
haTorah.
Yeah. meDerabonon, you have to anyways teach, no question. Question is, why don't we find the Torah itself obligates us? Why should this something be? This is such an important thing, such an essential thing. Why did the Torah itself not demand this? It's not only such an essential thing. There's no way to keep the Torah in your mitzvah unless you do the chinuch. So it should be part and parcel. But still, in all the poskim are saying, no, it's only meDerabonon. So the Rebbe says, you're right, it's only meDerabonon. What's going to be min Torah? Torah was not given from Halachim. As soon as he becomes bar mitzvah, he has to start to involve himself in the mitzvahs as much as he could min Torah. Chachamim said no. We want to make sure the first day you start, you're all ready. But min haTorah, you're not a malach, so you can come to the day of the bar mitzvah without any preparation, and whatever you don't know, whatever you're not obligated. Page 67, the right column, second paragraph. So it sounds like a very big chiddush. Big chiddush is say you can go by days without doing. He's not going to do certain mitzvahs because he doesn't know about it. He didn't prepare himself properly. Now he's busy running around buying himself tefillin. No, why is a katan obligated to buy tefillin before bar mitzvah? Before bar mitzvah, he's a katan, he's a minor. You can't obligate him. To obligate the father, the Torah doesn't obligate the father to buy him tefillin. The Torah obligates him to give him a bris milah, to pigin a ben, to teach him Torah, but not to buy him tefillin. Means technically min haTorah, the day he becomes bar mitzvah, he can start shopping around, and if he's in a...
When it says in the Torah, the simple thing, most people when they read that, they have a picture of a father teaching his young son, not his father teaching his older son.
You're right, but he's teaching him learning, only learning, not how to fulfill. He doesn't have to put on tefillin with him 2 months before and prepare.
No, okay, but at least the kid is going to know what he strives to do.
Sure. And the minute he turns 13,
he's going to know.
Then he will have to start going to the store to buy it. Min haTorah.
That I'm not sure about.
How could we obligate him before? He's a katan. And the Torah never obligated the father. Mid-Torah, Madas B'neichem it says. It doesn't say, V'kashartem avicha b'tefillin. We can't mechadish new things.
Doesn't like it.
Okay, not a problem. Listen, it's an interesting discussion here. You know, we have to understand how we obligating a katan to prepare when it's time when he's not a barach chiyuv and a barach rayis. So we have to work this out. You know, meDerabonon. Okay, we understand there's meDerabonon. But how are we dealing with min haTorah? A biblical Jew before Chachamim gave the chiyuv meDerabonon. What was the katan doing? He had to go, he could be a nice Jew and buy his tefillin before, but who said he had to? How could you obligate the katan? A katan's not obligated anything.
Seichel Pashut.
Seichel Pashut tells I can't tell a minor anything. He's a minor, and he's a minor. Can't tell him anything. You're allowed to drive when you're 18, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he as soon as he's 18 he could drive. He has to learn how to drive. Takes some time. He has to get his permits and his licenses. Okay, now you could do it earlier. There's a time, but just because you reach the time when you're able to do mitzvahs and you're obligated to do mitzvahs, doesn't mean until then I was obligated to know about it. And I just turned 18. What should I do? I just turned bar mitzvah. It sounds like a big chiddush, right? Mikol Mokim, that's why it's difficult. The Rebbe himself is masking. Afkizo chiddush gadol b'halacha. This seems like a tremendous chiddush. Mikol Mokim, near it seems the misvara mochahu it's svara to say it this way. There's no other way about it. How can we obligate him something once he becomes bar mitzvah when his very nature he can't do it? The only way a bar mitzvah boy will be able to fulfill all the Torah mitzvahs properly is only if you did it before. To do it before is not obligated. So we have to say that the preparation time for the mitzvahs is included in the mitzvah and it's post bar mitzvah. It's included in the chiyuv. Geen in zwara haTorah te chayv l'chanach ba'oid b'katnus shenuchol l'kayin kol mitzvah yagdil. There's no logic that the Torah has to obligate us to educate the child as a cotton, because there's no chiyuv. The only time when he'll have to start preparing himself for mitzvahs is only when he becomes a gadol. If it takes time, it takes time. If it takes time, it takes time, and he couldn't do it. If a cotton come before bar mitzvah, he's all alone. He's all alone in a city all by himself. He's turning bar mitzvah, and we're dealing with min haTorah. And it's the day before. It's the day before Pesach. He's turning Pesach on Pesach. The first day of Pesach is bar mitzvah. He has no chi of erev Pesach to bake matzahs, to have matzahs when he's bar mitzvah. We can't obligate him to min haTorah to prepare matzahs when he was a cotton. He doesn't have to prepare for when he's bar mitzvah. When he's going to come bar mitzvah, he's not going to have time to do it. What can we do? He has no time to prepare. Is this his fault? It's not his fault. He has to do his best. As soon as it becomes nightfall, he should try to bake matzahs.
Why are you saying here, ואם צריך זמן של חינוך והכשרה? It doesn't have to say ואם צריך. For sure הוא צריך.
Some mitzvahs don't need, right? Some mitzvahs, he doesn't need time to prepare. But some mitzvahs you need time to prepare without it. Some mitzvahs you could do right away. But those mitzvahs that are going to require time, it's going to be included as a mitzvah.
Right.
And he's going to bring down an example, and we're going to finish off the sikha with this. Page 67, Siva. We can bring a proof to this svara. Mibger habol is gayer. The din of a ger coming to Megayer. The kaimel the halachi is the medina is Iraq mixes Mrs. Kalos and mixes Mrs. Chamuris. We only need to tell him a few of the lighter mitzvahs, a few of the harsher mitzvahs. V'Rabba Moisif Medina Yisoi Iker Hadas Sheyichad Hashem V'Iser Akku Avodas Chol Mazalis U'Marichin Adavar Zeh Medina Yisoi Mix Mitzvah Ein Marichin Adavar Zeh. You have to tell him the Yichud of Hashem. Tell him in Allah worship Avodah Zarah, and that you should talk a lot about to him. And you tell him a little bit of the mitzvahs, kalas and chamuris. Ve'ein marichim adavar zeh. Don't talk too much about this. That you don't have to speak barichis.
In time he will learn.
He's gonna become a ger. He's not the first day. He's gonna become a ger. He's gonna be over on mitzvahs and averis because he didn't learn. He can't learn it all in one day. It's gonna take him many weeks and months till he gets it clear. Mm-hmm. So what's pshat? We're setting him up for failure for the first few months of being a ger. So the Rebbe, he pashut. The Imloin Islam and his Chana Basiz called Mrs. Koidim Geru say, if you're not going to teach him and prepare him before, lo yuchol l'kayim yadach ha'gedas. He's not going to be able to mekayim right after the gedas. Why do we not teach him before? Not only we don't, but the Rambam writes, don't talk too at length about it.
Too much, yeah.
We have to say the same thing like we spoke before by a cotton. Since you can't obligate a guy to learn mitzvahs to get prepared when he's a ger. Before he's a ger, he's a guy. There's no obligation on him. And once he's a ger, what can he do? He's not a malach. He has to take some time. There's no chiyuv min hachinuch min haTorah because there's no chisar and there's nothing lacking if the cotton couldn't do a mitzvah when he came by mitzvah. Because how would he have been able to do a mitzvah if he didn't prepare it? He has no time to prepare. He was a cotton. He was not obligated. Now you want him to do all the mitzvahs? Take some time to prepare and to know it. As long as he's trying and doing his best, he's not over any mitzvah. Just like the ger is not. By the ger, the maschil rak goes. He's only chayiv to learn and to prepare for the mitzvahs only from the day he becomes a ger. He became a ger right before sukkahs. He didn't have time to prepare a sukkah. Okay, so he needs time. He might have to build a cholam mayid.
He did not know even.
He did not even know. Yeah. He never told him it was a mitzvah sukkah. So now you're going to blame him. You're going to say you're really chayev. And you know what? Oinus rachmana patre. He was an oinus. No, he's not an oinus. The chiyuv was never chal on him. The chiyuv is do whatever you could, prepare for the mitzvah. He never had the chiyuv till he knows it, till he could do it. Once he knows it and someone's stopping him, and you'll say he's an honest. He never knew about it, was not able to do it, physically able to do it. He's not a malach. When he's a ben adam and he knows everything and he could do it, and for something stopped him, he wasn't feeling well, he say he's honest. But if he wasn't able to, from the nature, how the teva had dvarim, he be'etzim was not able to do the mitzvah. It's not pshat. There was no chiyuv b'chlal. There's no, the achon is part of the chiyuv. Had he called meshech oisis man in the oivra mitzvah. Or b'dugmas cotton shem is gadol, the geshen is gayer. Either of a saying the similar thing of a cotton shem is gadol. This situation became a mitzvah happened when we came matan Torah. So the Rebbe, it's not a psa just by bar mitzvah and a geiris. All of Klal Yisrael went through a geiris b'shas matan Torah. Either of a saying of b'shas matan Torah shem is chayvel or shayna Torah mitzvahs became obligated the first time with Torah mitzvahs. Vadre, for sure, it took time. There's man shall limin v'achon at sheyuchayil l'kayim mitzvahs. V'chein at sheyuchayil l'hachin chaftzeh mitzvah tzitzit tefillin. How were they able to prepare tzitzis and tefillin? They didn't have tzitzis the first day, right away. So how did mitamol, all Klal Yisrael, millions of people need to be able to have mitzvahs all prepared and ready. It's obvious they weren't able to do everything right away. Some things yes, some things not. Good. Certain people were keeping mitzvahs before Shevet Levi. Certain things they were kashet tzivcha, mara. They already prepared for Shabbos, a shechita. But bulk of most of the mitzvahs in the Torah they were not keeping at all. So what happened when they had man Torah? Obviously there was failures. The failures are not failures of the Rebbe. It's not failure because that's part of the system. The Eibush knew that you can't do it. You can't do it. So that's the way how you do the only way you do the mitzvahs this way. Just because I couldn't do it means a failure. It's not a failure. That's the way the mitzvah takes. It takes time to do the mitzvah. It takes time to prepare the shofar. It takes time to prepare everything. We're not going to go and say that really they were chayiv. And it was oinus of manapatim means they lost out on mitzvahs. No. They lost out on mitzvah sitzes. The Rebbe learns pshat, not pshat, they lost out on mitzvah tzitzis because they couldn't prepare the tzitzis. Everyone had to prepare tzitzis right away. And tefillin. How did they make tefillin? It takes time to make tefillin. Mm-hmm. Make every year tefillin. The Soifer were working non-stop, 24 hours, to prepare tefillin. The fact they didn't have it the first day, it's not pshat that they were obligated and they didn't do it and we're going to exempt them from punishment.
They talk about
that they're not obligated until you're able to do it.
It's not clear that they were tefillin at all.
That's true. The art of the Rebbe says when a gay tefillin, he brings for one of the svarim that the Bnei Yisrael from the Mabits held that they did not wear tefillin, but in other places it does say they wore tefillin. It's just an example, anyways. It's an example. What about all the other Tayag mitzvahs? Kiven she'oz husfa kol ikar achiyuv lefichach chal ba'oifen sheyuchel l'kaymen de begdamas kol achonas hadrush kol achinach v'regilas. Chein oitzel kol kotchen as gadol shekol achiyuv shaloi b'torah mitzvahs maschel rak migi l'gadlas. Kol zman shetzol l'sasik l'dim v'achonah v'chinoch sheyuchel l'kaymen ze mitzvah chos v'haz mezaveda einim mevatel oisem mitzvah and oiver loisem mitzvah loisem. Adre osuk b'kiyumam l'hachi leka chiyuv chinach ba'oidei kotem in haTorah. Now, so that's why the Rebbe is coming to explain why min haTorah there's no chiyuv chinuch. We asked, l'chora, how could it be? There's no min haTorah, no chiyuv chinuch. If the child's not going to know, he's going to be over an avedus as soon as he's bar mitzvah. It's only meDerabonon. So the Rebbe, it's not avedus. It's not avedus. It's not avedus. That's part of the process. Part of the process is he becomes bar mitzvah. Now he has to go buy tefillin. So go to the store and buy tefillin. Now he has to go bake matzah. Bizitzter, he was not a bar chiyuva. We couldn't talk to him. meDerabonon is a chiyuv on the father before. Min haTorah is no chiyuv. He finishes off that we find by Avraham Avinu something interesting. This is a side thing. We find it says Chazal say like this. It says in Zohar in a few places, Avram Zaken Baba Yamim. What does it mean Baba Yamim? Baba Yamim means he came in his days. He came with all his days. He came to Shemayim. He finished Elam Haza every single day. He did what he had to do. The shaila is, how could we say that all the days of his life were b'shleimus. Part of his life, he didn't come. It took him at least 3 years till the different medrashim and different chazals when he understood as an Eibishter. It was Ben Gimel Shanim. According to that sheet, it was Ben Gimel Shanim when he was 3 years old. So what happened to the 2 years before? He obviously the first 3 years of his life up until 3, he didn't know about the Eibishter. So it wasn't his whole life. Al Dadas of Ashur, according to the sheet, is that only when he was 40 years old he recognized the Eibishter. 48 years old he recognized the Eibishter. How can we say Ba Yom Avraham Avinu didn't miss any one of his days of his life? Further, by Sarah, we say by Sarah, Kulan Shavan Latoiv in beginning of the 6th parasha that Meya Shana, Esem Shana, Chai Sarah, the Torah repeats it again, the mitzvah of the days at the ending. Rashi says, Kulan Shavan Latoiv. They were all good, all 127 years. Well, she wasn't involved with the Eibishter all 127 years. It wasn't until later on in life when they recognized the Eibishter. So the Rebbe says here, Pshat. He says, what happened to Avraham Avinu? Was it one day he suddenly woke up and said, there's a Bayra Olam? No. It took him time. He was searching his life. He was searching and looking and saying, this is not it, this is not it, this can't be it. It was a whole research. The Rebbe says the research is also part of it. The research is part of the process. And there was Baba Yamin. The fact that even though he didn't yet come to the recognition of the Eibishter all along, but the fact that he was on the way there, and he was doing things and researching and working on it, that was all part of it, because that's the only way he could have gotten there. How else could he have gotten there? So snapshot he was missing. He did every day. He was working towards the Avodas Hashem. It took him time until he got there. That was the nature. There was no way it was going to come instantly. He didn't have a nevuah and a matan Torah. It came on his own, so it took time. So there's nothing wrong with that it took time. If that's the way naturally it takes time naturally, then that's part of the process. That's part of the mitzvah. By the way, in a Tartan, you could still say, at the ending of the day, okay, he's 3. Let's say according to the Medrash, he started when he's 3. But let's say when he started when he was 2 years old to think where the Eibishter is. They were young, they were more mature. He was 2 years old, but there was still 2 years that he wasn't. So he brings a two medrashim which say that before the Mabul, when they would give birth, her mother would give birth, she would tell her son, she just gave birth, a child, the child was mature enough when the child was born, before the Mabul, go and bring me a rack to cut the cord. So the child is already at that maturity. So that says maybe after the Mabul also by certain Yechidah school like Avraham Avinu were born with essential level of maturity, and as soon as he was born, he was already a level of thinking about why is he here, what was the Eibush in the Welt. So therefore, it was Mamash Baba Yamim Kipshute. And Zalmai says this is all min haTorah. meDerabonon you have a chiyuv chinuch. But this is all discussion of what is min haTorah. Where is the chiyuv? The mashal of Gerus brings that very clear, because the ger, you're not allowed to tell you don't tell the ger anything before. Not a goy shalamat chayim misa, right?
We make it hard for him.
Right.
You tell him there's so much stingies in the Torah.
You know the joke they say that someone one time told us chavrusa that I'm really a guy. I look like a... So he said, but Chaim, how are you keeping Shabbos? And a guy is Shabbos Chayiv Misa. If you keep Shabbos, you Chayiv Misa. So he says, don't worry. I kept always a little rack in my pocket. He said, yeah, but there's an Erev. He says, I don't hold to the Erev.